created by Tim Roberts. Yeah, I'm starting a third campaign of sorts today because I play my RPGs in one-to-one time. And in my Traveler campaign, both of my heroes have about a week before our calendar catches up to theirs. In my AD&D campaign, I left my books in a place where I don't have access. So I would happen to be at the local game store looking for, honestly, I was looking for a Hex and Counter war game, something small, something Command Decision, one of their folio games. They didn't really have anything. They had a bunch of the really big Hex and Counter war games, including some, I think, is it GMT that has, like, you can buy the $90 game that comes in a box that's enormous, and then you can buy the solo add-on for the $20, and I was like, forget that. I almost gave up, but I happened to notice this little folio, Be Like a Crow, a solo RPG. And I took a look at the back. I don't want to do too much of an introduction to this because this is a brand new experience for me, and I'm afraid if I tell you what I think is going on here, I'm going to be very wrong. I think, and the guys in the chat can probably correct me, this is what is known as a journaling RPG. I've skimmed the rules, but we're going to look through those, and we're going to play through a little bit of this. Be Like a Crow, a solo RPG. This is why I bought the book. In this game, for one player, well, one and, his good buddies, you get to take on the role of a corvid, exploring the world and completing objectives while meeting other creatures and collecting weird and wonderful objects. All you need to start playing are rules of pen, a paper, and a deck of cards. You can choose to play a crow, raven. I'm sold. You can play as a raven, rook, jackdaw, or magpie and journey through one of 6 settings: urban, cyber, steampunk, fantasy, gothic, and Tower of London. Spread your wings and take flight with this unique RPG. Now, for those of you that are wondering, wait, why do I have a Corvus bird? Why do I have a Corvinus? Well, the Corvinus is actually separate. I named that planet after one of my online YouTube buddies, Corvinus. He's got a YouTube channel, and he talks a lot about the Ottoman Empire. We don't hold that against him. He's a really nice guy. But what about Black Raven? I mean, why, where, what's the deal? And if you're curious, go back to Wednesday's live stream. Watch the last 2 minutes and pay very careful attention. Listen carefully, and you'll be able to figure it out. It's the sort of thing we don't discuss in person, and we only discuss it obliquely because we are on the internet after all. And we are talking to the RPG crowd, which is filled with some of the worst. Well, I shouldn't say it's filled with the worst. It's got a lot of the worst people ever in it. Not you guys. You guys are good. You can come to school tomorrow. You'll be fine. You know what I'm talking about. I was watching a conversation the other day, and a friend of mine, I'm not going to tell you what his other hobby is, but he's very passionate about a thing outside of tabletop gaming. And the smart boys in the RPG hobby, for some reason, think that gives them leverage. They think it's an insult to say, you sure are well-rounded. Wow, he can't tell us about this RPG thing because he's probably over-engaging in other pursuits. Like, what? Who does that? It's very weird, very strange. So there are certain cards that we play very close to our chest. Hey, look, I got a deck of cards, speaking of. So let's just kind of go through this. Again, this is a new experience for me. I haven't played one of these solo RPGs. I think they've been out for a few years. Solo RPG guy, if he's in the chat, sound off. He's probably the expert in this. And he may chuckle and laugh at some of the mistakes I make, but he'll also chime in and say, this is not typically how it's done, which we appreciate. Because if there's one thing that this channel has more than any other, one thing we're better at than other channels is humility. We are so humble here that it's jaw-dropping. In all seriousness, though, we do, a man's got to know his limitations. And my limitation is doing this stuff live. Hey, Luke. Hey, Dartmart. Hey, Planet Tobor. Welcome aboard. Corvid, a member of the passerine bird family, Corvidae, which includes crows, magpies, jays, raven, rook, and jackdaw. For my wife, Sarah. That's so sweet. I like this. This is fourth printing. So, yeah, fourth printing. Probably pretty popular. September 2023. I wonder when it was first published. Does it say, yeah, copyright 2022. So it's been out for a while. I just found it on a shelf. We'll go through this in a little bit of detail, and of course, I suspect this is going to be a bit of a campaign. You may already have some familiarity with solo RPGs, or this could be the first time. Prepare to see the world from a different perspective. In this game, for one player, and the best comment section on YouTube, the first thing you will do before begin play is create your corvid. You can choose from several species, each with the different abilities and characteristics. Now, I've already said them twice. I'm going to let you guys decide, kind of an informal poll here. Do you guys want to be crow, raven, rook, jackdaw, or magpie? Hey, good evening, John City. Those are going to make a difference as far as our character. Those are kind of the character classes. You will take on the role of a member of the Corvid family and, using a series of writing prompts, steer them through their adventures, all the while recording your experiences and building a bigger story. How you choose to document your adventures... I think perhaps I will do a live stream. Maybe I'll make a video. That could work, right? It says you can also use a word processor, a blog. Oh, I got one of those. It's johnmollison.com. Jeremy Herndon, it's called Be Like a Crow. Kind of an independent. It's by an outfit called, it's by a guy called Tim Roberts. And if you want to learn more about it or get a copy yourself, I have not been paid. Like I said, this was a random game store find, criticalkit.co.uk. And we'll talk more about that website, but that's where you can get a copy. Probably Amazon too. I haven't looked it up. It says you could use a voice recorder, back of a napkin. Oh, that's hardcore mode. We should probably play this in a loud bar sometime. Sequential art, that's a visual novel. If you choose the last option, I salute you. I'd love to see the results. Of course you would. It's important to remember that Be Like a Crow is all about getting creative and having fun. There's no wrong way to play it so long as this sounds kind of fruity, guys. Now, I'm coming in darn near blind, and not just because I've only got the one eye, right? That's red flag. I'm reaching for the abort button. As long as you're fulfilling being creative and having fun. Well, come on. What are you doing, Tim? I could have done whatever I wanted without giving you $20 first. You wrote a game. I'm going to play the game, of course. Experiment with different ways of telling your story and find the one which works best for you. For instance, I do a live stream of my sessions at Twitch TV /critical_kit. So, if you want to see how it's really done by an expert, by the guy that, if you want to see the sausage made by the guy that made the sausage, go to Twitch TV /criticalkit. Below is an example of my journal entry, blah, blah, blah. As you play through, you will keep a journal in your own preferred style of live stream and point of view, so he uses first person. In addition to choosing a species, you'll need to consider which setting you would like to inhabit. I gotta warn you, the book itself includes, and this is where things get a little bit awkward as well, the book includes 6 settings. And they're listed here on the back again. Urban, cyber, steampunk, fantasy, gothic, and Tower of London. Normally, I would let you guys pick which of these 6 you would like to see, but you have to go to Critical Kit and download the maps by giving them your email, downloading them, printing them, and these maps, they're really good looking, but they use a lot of ink, and I didn't have enough. So this is what the Cybercrow map looks like in black and white. It's got all the fancy 1990s day glow, hot pink, neon blue, fuchsia in there, but it doesn't show up well on camera, and it burns a lot of ink. You might want to wait till you're at the office. So we're not going to use that one. The other thing is I can't take notes on this because I don't have a white marker. So forget Cyberpunk. I'm going to give you guys a choice. Here's the map for Clockwork. It's kind of a steampunk, I think. Or the Urban Crow map. And look at this. It is a hex-based map. Now, because I painted it and printed it in grayscale, you can't see all the pretty colors. But I'll let you guys... Do you want to do Urban or Clockwork? Clockwork is probably the best bet for today. I didn't even bother printing up the fantasy one because, I got to get a couple of new ink cartridges. Checking the map. Hey, eyeball. Yeah. What's the objective? We're going to find out here in a little bit, Dartmart. Steampunk. I want the crow to have a top hat. Yeah, we're going to have to do, now that I look at this, Clockwork is the only one that's really going to make any sense. What do we got? We got corvids are genius among the birds. Yeah, I know, but I need to know what kind of bird we're doing. So we're going to use, so you can download these maps. You download them, print them up, whichever setting will have an impact on your Corvid's abilities and the challenges they will find themselves up against. Now, here I'm going to pause for a moment. I'm going to like fast forward. I haven't looked at these in any real detail, but basically it's a card-driven game. So like fantasy, you've got a table full of objectives. You've got objects like items. You got red suits and black suits. You've got characters and locations, and then again for Gothic, you've got and Gothic is kind of like, I mean, you can guess. It's like you're one of the ravens in Dracula's castle, I think. So for each of these settings, you have an entirely different suite of. So for Cyber Crow, right? So here again, you've got objects. Objectives. Excuse me. You've got objectives, objects, two different sets in two different suits, red and black. And then you've got characters and locations in red and black both. So you can see, I think this is going to have a lot of replayability. It's a fairly slim book, only about 70 pages. Here's the character sheet, and we'll look at that in a little more detail here in just a moment. The play deck and prompt. So the world you inhabit is full of surprises. Some of them will go in your favor. Others create challenges and problems you must overcome. As you play through, be like a crow, you'll draw cards to introduce these events and encounters to your story. You're also going to use these for making skill checks. In order to progress through the Corvid's life cycle stages, and here's where the campaign comes in. When you are a fledgling, this is what I'm hoping to get through tonight. We're going to get through 2 objectives, and then we become a juvenile. We level up. And then you're a juvenile, you got to get through 4 objectives, you'll level up. And then you're an adult, and you'll level up. And if you can get through 6 objectives as an adult, then you become the old crow. They're discussed more in Chapter 3. So that's that. Character and setting, characteristics and abilities. To begin a game, you need to create a Corvid. So here's what our character sheet looks like. Life cycle stage. Now, as I said, we are going to be starting, and we're going to zoom in tight on this guy. We're going to be starting as a juvie. This one's for the Necromunda players. And our setting, as we said, is going to be steampunk. Steampunk. Although he kind of uses, does he use steampunk and clockwork interchangeably? He does. That's fine. You're allowed to. And then, so you've got 6 wounds. You've got a picture and a sketch. You've got a description. Yeah, okay. And then you've got a suite of skills. And depending on which bird we are, which breed, or species, I should say, we've got fly, hop, search, navigate. And then for social, we've got befriend, signal, scare, mate. Hubba, hubba. And for tools and rituals, dance, sing, use tool, and preen. Preen is what you use when you want to heal. And we'll talk about skill checks in a minute. And then combat here is peck, claw, dive bomb, and evade. Skill checks in combat all work just about the same. Let me just whip this out. This is my EDC, my everyday carry. Pohaku. It's a little, I wear this on my belt everywhere I go. Sorry, Brit friends. This is just how we Yanks roll. Oh, wait. Wait a minute. It's got a, oh, well, at least I found an excuse to show off my everyday carry knife. All right. That was easy. I guess they made that, oh, no, I do get to use it. Yes, this makes me happy. You guys might not appreciate how nice it is to cut things. And then, is there more plastic? There's no plastic on the inside. So here's our bicycle, and we'll get in the game. We do need the jokers, so we'll flip those out of there. And we got a couple. All right, good. We got a red joker and a normal joker. Right, so where were we? Characteristics and abilities. We talked about those, and I'm going to shuffle these while I talk. And we're going to go on to creating our character. Do we want to be a carrion crow? Do we want to be a magpie? Do we want to go rook, raven, jackdaw? What do you guys think? I'm checking. If you guys don't choose, then I'm going to default to my favorite. My character's name is Jose Cuervo. I believe screwdrivers are illegal in the UK. You can't walk around town with them. You have to have a license, mate. And it's funny because I was noticing as I was walking around outside, there are a lot of crows. I almost grabbed one of the locals and said, "Hey, do you guys have any other birds?" I walked out. Man, there must be something in the air because I walked out of Del Taco. Don't ask me. I wanted to try something different, and I heard a bird chirping that I hadn't heard. It was a weird bird. I looked up and it started calling. It was a crow up in the tree, and I was like, "Oh." So I haven't seen any like other birds than crows. They're all over the place. That was good. That was good. Boy, I tell you, when I belly up to the poker table and then I look around and there's never a rube there. There's never a mark that's going to get fleeced. It really surprises me. Poker players know what that means. Going once, going twice. We are going to go with chats. Chat's a little quiet today. We got 13. Welcome aboard. We are going with a raven. Oh, we're going with a species. We're going with a raven named Jose. Jose Corvo. Because he's a Corvid. So we're going to call him Jose Corvo. This is a family channel. We're not naming him after no alcoholic. I mean, it's Saturday night, so that would be appropriate, I guess. I have now shuffled these cards up, and they're looking good. When you choose a raven, and again, you've got 6 settings, lots of different possibilities, and now we've got lots of different kinds of birds, like character classes. Let's find out together what a raven is good at. They are 60 to 68 centimeters. Wait, what? Hold on, I gotta look. What is 60? How big are they? Their length is, well, that's 30. So about 2 feet. Wingspan is about 3 feet. And they weigh about 1 kilogram. So that's about 2 to 3 pounds. They're massive in comparison to their other corvid relatives. We're going big, baby. They have rough black feathers, sometimes with a blue tint and distinctive diamond-shaped tail. I found out that the other difference between ravens and crows is that the feathers coming off the back of their neck, those are called pinions. The raven, one of them, I can't remember which, one has 12 of those feathers, and the other one has, I want to say, 13 pinion feathers. So literally the difference between ravens and crows is a matter of opinion. Nesting. They sheltered in the ledge or the fork of a tree, usually built by themselves, and a mate from large twigs. They eat carrion mammals, birds, and eggs, insects, and other invertebrates. Though their size can make them intimidating, they can be great allies if befriended. Their habitats are woodlands, whatever. Okay, farmland. This is not Mr. Wargaming's Wild Kingdom. Starting at each fledgling stage, and every time you advance, you can add 2 ticks to any one skill. Metric joins the chat, says Unpainted Lead, and you can hear the gears start grinding. Dartmart says, ravens love eyeballs. I'm the one-eyed man seeing in the future who's got ravens. What does that tell you? And I've seen that scene in Excalibur, if that's a reference. Ravens are part of British myth. They absolutely are. That's why one of the settings here and is the Tower of London. You can be one of the ravens of the Tower of London. And I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I'm not going to look at it today. I'm going to save the mystery. Part of what I enjoy about this hobby is the exploration of intellectual spaces, such as these rules in this game. I suspect that you have to deal with the Raven Master if you are playing in the Tower of London setting, but we're not going to find out today because we're doing clockwork. You can add 2 ticks to any one skill. You can also add 1 tick to a single skill from each of your main skill categories. What? Underline the name of any skills you have authority in as a reminder. Oh, right. You also have an additional tick. Okay, you can have 1 additional tick to peck, fly, and I'll try to make this as visible as possible. Peck, fly, befriend, and scare as a fledgling. That's us. And each time you advance a life cycle, each time you level up, add 1 more tick. All right, that's good to know. At the start of combat, you can ruff your neck feathers to make a scare check with authority. Now, authority means I should talk a little bit about the rules before I explain before we choose where to put our tick marks. So if I have to make a skill check, I draw a card, and Jack of spades. That's the difficulty check. Now I draw another card, and I add my skill to that card's value, and if I meet or beat the first card, I win. So if I was trying to befriend somebody, this is what I needed to befriend him, and I drew a 10, and look, I add 1, I've tied. 11 is a tie. Now, here's a question that I'm not sure about. Today, we're just going to do straight numbers. Do the suits matter? If I need to beat a jack of spades, does that mean I have to draw a queen? Because suit order goes spade, heart, diamond, club. I don't know. I'm going to ignore that for today. I'll go back and double check the big rules. The same thing is going to apply for combat. When we run into somebody, they'll have 3 numbers. They'll have an attack evade score. So if they try to escape, it's the same thing. That gets added to their card. So if I'm fighting a guy with a combat skill of 2, and I'm trying to peck him, then notice that as it stands right now, I have a +1 to my peck. So if he's fighting me, if I'm attacking him, I got an 11, he got an 11. Oh, that's a good question. Do I have to beat the combat score? We'll check the rules because we want to get this right. In combat, draw a card, add the number of ticks. This is your attack. Then draw for your opponent and add theirs. If your score is higher or equal to your opponent, inflict an injury. If theirs is higher or equal to yours, right. So I'm attacking him. Of course, I drew this card first, right? He drew second. I beat his score, so I will do 1 point of damage to him. He will have a number of hit points that will be somewhere around like 3 to 5. Now, alternatively, if I want to escape, then when he attacks me, I will draw my evade card, and then I'll add my evade skill, which is right down here. See, it's 0. And if I beat his card, then I win. Janov, welcome aboard. Charles Latour says the shape of tail feathers helps determine crow or raven. There's a few other little things besides the pinion feathers. So at this point, we get 2 ticks to any one skill, but I'm missing something here. Characters and settings. Use the appropriate section to fill in the character sheet. The species. Each species has its own strengths and weaknesses. The more ticks you have, all species gain skill improvements. Whilst they're not essential, I would suggest you add them. Okay. And these extra, like this extra information about what they eat, this is so when we go through and we do our journaling, when we write our blog entry, then you can add more details and make it more authentic. So he's already done the research for us. But it says here, you add 2 ticks to any one skill and add 1 tick to a single skill from each of your main skill categories. So I think that means I can add 1 to each of these 4, and then I can add 2 ticks to any to any one skill. Does that mean that, like, if I add 2 to social, is Corvette a female Cuervo? Could be. I don't know. Let's see. Once you decide, use the appropriate section to fill in. If I add 2 to my tools skill, does that mean I add it to all 4 of these? That's what I don't understand. The more ticks you have, the more proficient you are. And I don't want to make this any easier than I really need to. Your world, character and setting. It doesn't say what the difference is there. This makes for good watching. So we go to chapter 3 where it talks about the rules, taking turns. It doesn't say what the difference is. All right, so I'm going to say that I get to pick 1. I'm going to add 1 to search, 1 to scare. I want to be a spoopy raven. I want to add one to which would be appropriate for my Raven. I think maybe should we be a dancer? I just want to dance, Dad. We could go full Bob's Burger on this one. I just want to dance. And then down here, we're going to take one on evade. We want to be able to get away. And then we can add two to any one of these. And I'm guessing, do we want to actually? Now I'm thinking maybe instead, yeah, we're going to be super scary here. I'm going to dump. Wait, but I get one more each time. Yeah, I'm going to max out scary by the time we're done. He's a big bird. And then we have objectives, notes, and objects. So under notes, I want to write down that special ability that he has. Where, oh, by the way, if I draw a Joker, I can put that aside. And that gives me 4 superpowers. I can use it to automatically succeed on an attack, which I think means do your attack, and then if you failed, you can play the Joker and you succeed. You can automatically succeed on a skill check. You can automatically, so if I fail, just throw the Joker and you win. You can use it to heal 2 wounds, or it says here, discard and draw again. Oh, that's the 4th one? So I guess anytime you draw a card, if you don't like it, throw it on the Joker and you get a redo. There's also advantages, and if you have advantages on something, you draw 2 cards and take the highest. If there's he calls them something else, but it's advantage and disadvantage, as you're familiar with. And he calls it authority and penalty. If you have a penalty, that means draw 2 cards, take the lowest. And we're just about ready to go here. Taking turns, like to get started. Except there's one more thing. It says at the start of combat, you can scare. Oh, maybe I shouldn't dump everything. So I can. It's called rough. Right on turn one combat. Scare with authority. Yeah, maybe we keep that. A success means you make a scare check, and success means every attack. So you make a preen check, and if you succeed, you have advantage for the whole fight on every attack you make. Oh, that's pretty good. Also, social interactions. These are all made. Wait, all of the checks are made with authority. Yeah, well, if that's the case, man, I don't need to be super scary. I'm going to go ahead and take use tool as a double whammy. Because if I'm already got authority, then what do I need the high stats for? Let's see. Choosing a setting, right? We said we're going to do steampunk. The worst has happened. The worst thing that could have happened did. Humans share the skies with you and their mechanical flying contraptions. Travel between airships in search of food, missing allies, and help those in peril. You can harness the power of steam and mechanics with augmentations that will grant you, check it, I got gears on my bird, that will grant you extra speed and endurance. I know this is taking a little while. This is just the preliminary. The Steampunk Crow. Here we go. So here's what it says. An airship engineer befriends you and gives you the following from his scrap pile. Does he give me all 3 of these? Steam-powered wings, a monocle, and as a juvenile, you may add 1 tick to any 2 skills. All right, so our airship engineer, let's see. Okay, but now I'm a little confused. So we automatically have steam-powered wings. So fly gets an extra tick. Dive bomb gets an extra tick. Where is it? Right here we go. So if I want to dive bomb, and evade gets an extra tick. When you are making an attack in combat, you have to declare which of these 4 you're using. You get a pet claw, dive bomb, or evade. Additionally, you may add 1 extra tick to any 2 skills. I guess we'll go nice rounded. We'll take 1 in navigate, and we'll take 1 in. We've already kind of committed to evade. Do we want to signal for social interaction, or do we want to be good with the mates? Do we want to be good with the ladies? I'm gonna take preen actually. I want to be able to heal myself because it's a dangerous steampunk world out there. Now, the way this works, so let's take a look at the map here. We're going to generate an objective, but you can see there's hexes. And on any given turn, we're not doing one-to-one time, I don't think. On any given turn, you can take one of the following actions. You can generate an objective, or we're going to do that to start. You can generate an event. In fact, you can generate as many events as you want before you're leaving a particular hex. You can travel to a new hex. Every time you fly into a hex, you have to generate an event. Now, there are two kinds of events, ground events and flight events. I'm assuming that you can't land on the water, that you have to get to the crashed airship and the military airship. The airport's obvious. Now that I look at this, do I have to be in the coal mines? Where's the scrapyard? Is it all of these hexes? Is the Duke's Fort these three hexes? The cruised airship, I guess, is where the gondola that is there. I guess the crashed airship is going to be where the gondola, and likewise with the military airship, it's not where the words are. And then any one of these docks, we're going to call the docks. It's a little unclear. I think that'll be okay though. So at any turn, you can generate an objective, generate an event, travel to a new hex, take flight or land, use an object, or take a combat action. So the first thing we got to do is generate our objectives when starting a new game. You'll also generate a new objective each time you enter a new life cycle. And these objectives, remember, we got to complete 2 of these. Events power the storytelling. They're not setting specific, so their prompts can be found at the very beginning of Chapter 4. They are the random events and encounters that will occur as you travel throughout your world. Draw a single card and compare the suit color to the events. Depending on whether you're flying or landed, use the appropriate table. All right, so the events, whether you're flying or on the land, that doesn't make any difference. For the setting doesn't make any difference. That's the same for everybody, and we'll talk about that. Each setting has its own map with landmarks that relate to the location prompts for that world. As I said, you travel 1 hex at a time. You must generate 1 flight event before you can move to a new hex. You can choose to spend as long as you want in any location and take as many turns as you wish there. You can choose to land in any hex and explore a little, but you must generate 2 land events before you fly off again. You can only leave a hex while you're flying, and then you can carry up to 2 objects. Notice we've got this big box over here for, well, that's for our objectives. Does it have, oh yeah, here's objects. You can carry 1 in your beak and 1 in your claws. If you want to, if you get a new, basically that's it. You guys understand how that works. Objects can grant you specific benefits. We talked about skill checks, talked about combat and fleeing and injury. Once per hex, whenever you land, you can make a preen check, and if that skill check is successful, I'm at +1, then you heal 1 of your 6 hit points. Bing, injuries. When you complete a turn, you must discard any drawn cards. Eventually, you'll run out of cards. Shuffle the discard pile. Keep the jokers if you got them in your hand. And just start over with a new deck. So we're going to work through the whole deck before we go. Anything else you can give us? This chapter contains... So here we are to Chapter 4, Prompts and Maps. We're finally ready to start going. Each time you enter a new hex, you must take at least 1 turn by drawing a card. Whenever you need to generate an objective, yeah, that's fine, okay. Your story, your rules. The prompts are designed to inspire you, and in this capacity, some are less detailed than others. The more you play, the more you will find yourself tapping into your own creativity, and that of your bros who are in the chat. Moreover, there may be times when a prompt doesn't make sense to you. Oh boy, we're treading dangerously close here. Or you have a much better idea that will fit your tale. In such cases, T-A-L-E, tale. In such cases, run with your creative spirit and forget the prompts until you're ready to use them again. Oh, wait. Did I just tell you to ignore the rules? Not exactly, just the prompts. But then again, this game is about having fun and being creative, and if any rules are hampering your ability to do so, ignore them and get back to telling the story of your Corvid. You know, I'm tired, boss. I'm so tired. I'm the kind of tired that sleep can't cure. How about this? How about I paid you to make a game for me, and I don't need you telling me if you don't like the game, you can just not. I know I cannot play. I'm telling you, I'm gonna write a book called Calvin Ball the RPG, and it's gonna be fit nothing but this on 128 pages. Finally, if you're feeling adventurous, you might want to try to create your own prompt tables or even whole new settings. Creatures, objects, and maps. Feel free to use the ones in the book as a template. Oh, man. Bro, hit the gym. Take a stand. Commit. Ugh. By the way, speaking of other settings and whatnot, there's Cthulhu. I might have to pick up a copy of this. If we enjoy Be Like a Crow, I would be more than happy to grab myself a copy of Cthulhu. In this cosmic horror setting, you'll face great terrors on land and in the skies. A fistful of feathers. I think this is more my speed. Wait, that's pretty good, right? You could do like a caw, caw, caw. All these birds can whistle like that. This Wild West expansion is set in the desperate world of the Rooklands. Whether you choose to be a lawmaster, bounty hunter, or sharpshooter, you'll need to keep your wits about you. And prove you have true grit. My voice does not. I can't maintain that for an hour. All right. Let's generate an objective, man. I've been introducing and teaching, and 36 minutes is a bit redonkulous. All right. So so what's the first thing we got to do? Setting specific. We got to go to the settings, and we are. Oh, I shouldn't have thrown these away. These are going to come in really handy here. Gothic Crow, Cyber Crow. I'll show you the Ravens of the Tower. Look at that. Evocative art. It's great, man. It's got just enough. But I need to find Clockwork. Here we go. Clockwork Crow. Oh, we should have named him. Oh, what's the Clockwork Orange guy? We should have named him after him. That would have been awesome. Oh, well, too late. Jose is going to, me and Madrugs going to be wandering around the Clockwork. Looking for a little bit of the old, oh boy, I got to be careful. My kids might watch this one. My kids like birds too. So we got to generate our objectives. And the way the objectives work now, right, as I said, let me zoom out just a scotch here, because you guys have got to keep me honest. And these glossy cards are killing me. So there's one last cut of the deck, okay? Just to show you that I'm not like double dipping, and we're gonna have a discard pile. So the first thing we do is we generate our objective, and with the Queen, we have a character needs an object for their new invention. Travel to the scrapyard and try to obtain it for them. You may need something to trade. What have they created? Well, hold on now. Well, slow down. Slow your roll, baby. Each time, completing life cycle. It says, So that's our objective. But where do we start? Whenever you need to, this chapter contains prompts. Combat, fleeing combat, skill checks, carrying and using objects. Yeah, we're good. I just decided I can carry six objects. This is the first thing you do. All right, to generate an objective, do that. You'll notice some prompts have a placeholder text. When you come across placeholders, yeah, we did that. Okay, so to figure that out, I think the next step is to take a look at our, remember our buddy? Well, who is the main character from A Clockwork Orange? What is that guy's name? I'd settle for even the actor. Burb, says James L. Cyber Crow. So shortly after you were born. Oh, wait a minute. That's Cyber Crow. Fantasy Crow. Here we go. Clockwork Orange. Most of your time on one airship in a little of the wider world, your navigation checks are made with a penalty. Oh, I missed that. However, as you are small, you make checks. Wait a minute. I'm a fledgling. Oh, shoot. I don't have my steam-powered wings. Oh. I don't have a monocle. Oh. So I have to erase this. I'm a fledgling. Ah, darn it. And what were the 2 ticks I gave? I think I took one away from preen. Let's see. An airship gives you the following from a scrap pile: fly, dive, bomb, and evade. Darn, 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 darn. So fly, dive, bomb, and evade go down by 1. Fly goes down by 1. And then what was the other? Was it use tool? Fledgling, you spent most of your time on 1 airship. Your navigation checks are made with a penalty. So that's this one. I'm going to put a little P here to remind me that's a penalty. However, as you are small and a hard target, make evade checks with authority. Okay, so we're good at evading. Well, I think it was use tool. I think I gotta erase those as well. Nuts. All right. Spent most of your time on an airship. It says, Weary Magpie came to me less than an hour ago with a message from the airship Providence. It seems the vessel has come into trouble through the misfortune of a lightning strike, and the crew are struggling to maintain altitude. This is the introduction for this little adventure. I have been commanded to take instructions to the engineers in the form of plans that will assist them in making repairs. I must make haste, though, as the message says the airship is adrift and heading for the mountains. Why do humans insist on flying when they are without wings of their own? Yeah, these featherless monkeys, they're just a little bit aggravating. All right, so that's what happened. And then, so we're on the airship Providence. Are we on the crashed airship? I guess, yeah. So I guess we start on the crashed airship. That makes sense. And our objectives are, so now we have to generate a character from the clockwork. You can imagine this is going to go a lot faster when you're not trying to entertain people. So for the clockwork objects, we drew a black card of 9. A jeweler's screwdriver. You can automatically repair. Oh, so this is what we need to get. Oh. We need to get a screwdriver. Get a screwdriver. I should have just drawn both of these. That would have been smart. A character needs this. So the character is... Oh, well, I guess it doesn't matter. The character is going to be... another 9. I didn't shuffle these very well, did I? So which character do we have? The character is going to be a bored librarian. And so here's those stats, right? Combat 0. We're not going to fight this one. So we have to go to a bored librarian from the bored librarian at... And where's the bored librarian again? Wait, clockwork. It says, so the bored librarian needs an object. Oh, shoot. All right, let me fix this. The bored librarian needs the bejeweled, the bedazzled. The bored librarian needs a bejeweled screwdriver for, what is it? For an invention. So I have to go from the scrapyard. All right, that's our first objective. All right, you may need something to trade. What have they created? Well, I don't know. We'll have to find that out after we fulfill the objective. So we're going to start on the crashed airship, and we need to go to the scrapper yard. So this is our home hex, I guess. See right here? See the crashed airship? All right, and then the scrapyard is down here, and it's not clear which, I guess, this, well, no, it's not going to be in the water, right? Is the scrapyard here? I guess that's good. So this is the scrapyard. That's where we're trying to get to. And we're ready to actually play this game now. So what you would do at this point is you would, if you were playing this game as the journal exercise that it is, you would talk about how, well, wait a minute, but now I'm a little confused because I guess the crashed airship has a library, or there's a bored librarian who once read a book about a bejeweled screwdriver that will help the guys fix the ship. And you would write all that out as a twee little story, and that's fine. I don't mean that in a negative sense. Some of my favorite people are somewhat twee. I hope that's not like a really bad word for the Brit guys. That's fine, right? It's like only mildly like tongue in cheek insulting. So the first thing we're going to do is we got to fly down there, and I am going to go ahead and fly, boom, to right here. And the nice thing about having these ready to print up is that I can like journal right on my map. As I said, I am now generating an event in flight. So I have to draw, and here we have our setting non-specific events in flight. A bird joins you in flight and presents you with a task. You may generate a new objective. So that's our event for today. He says, hey, do you wanna... It says I may. Well, do I abandon my friends on the airship? I mean, they've been good to me, right? They didn't do good on the navigate, but we can take a look at what that new objective is, I suppose. It doesn't say we can't. So I will generate a new objective, and we'll decide. So the new objective is going to be a 7 of spades. A baron and duke are fighting for possession of something that's currently in the hands of a character. Pick a side and help them steal it. Nah, I don't want to get caught up in any of that political stuff. I just want to go get the screwdriver. So now I will fly to here on day 2 and generate a new flight event. A black... Are there any red cards in here? I'm going to give these one more riffle shuffle, okay? Just in case. That feels pretty streaky, to be honest with you. So the ace of dark card says, you meet a potential mate. If you're looking for love, make a mate check. I'm not, so I'm going to go to day number 3, and I'm going to fly to this hex. I'm over the steelworks now, and I generate another. A tailwind gives you haste, and here, just so you know I'm not cheating, it says here on day 4, a tailwind advance immediately to any adjacent hex. So that means I get to go here. And then the next day, I land in the scrapyard. Now I have to do 2 events in the scrapyard. And I get a 4. Now I have a new table. So I'm assuming because I landed, this automatically triggers the events on land. A hostile character wants to eat you. What? What did I ever do? Oh, man, they're making 4 and 20 blackbirds. How many times are we going to make that joke? Well, who's the character? Other than your host. Events on land, so we got to go back to... Look at that fantasy, man. That's good stuff, man. Look at that art. Who did the art in this book? I want to look at that real quick. We want to give proper cred. All rights reserved, with the exception non-commercial. It doesn't say art by Be Like a Crow. All rights reserved. Critical kit, helm device, Corvette art. Corvette art by Khius. Khius. All right. We are about to get eaten by a clockwork character. So we draw another card, and we get a 3 of spades. The head chef, he really does want to cook us and bake us and put us in a pie. Let me grab a piece of scrappy paper. And this is just our first event. The head chef. And he's got stats of... he's got like one of those egg beaters, and he probably reeled us in with something shiny. This is where he hunts his blackbirds for the blackbird pie. So he has, hamana, where'd he go? Where did he go? The head chef. He's 3, right? Wait. He's a character. Wait, no, I did it wrong, didn't I? Did I look at the wrong one? I did. Clockwork? Yeah, okay. I looked at the wrong one. So, Clockwork Crow characters. The black 3. Oh, I looked at the red. Oh, he's not the head chef. It's the head of the Alley Cat Pirates. All right, so the pirate cats said, "Yar, meow, I want to eat ya." So the captain 4 peg leg has attacked us, and he's got +1 to combat. He's got 3 hit points, and he's only got, is that right, wounds? No, he does 3. Look at that. Ooh. So he's got +1 to combat, and when he hits, he does 3. He's got 3 hit points, and he only does 1 wound to us. Now remember that he's going to jump on us, and we can make an evade check. And our evade skill here is, we have authority on that. I gotta find a better way to do that. Let me put the discard pile there. So we have evade with authority. We're at +1. The difficulty is going to be a jack. I am going to pick card number 1, and I'm going to pick card number 2. I get the ace, and I notice that the aces are at the top. So I'm assuming aces count as 1s. I failed to evade. And this event was... you should froze object, create your own event. We're on events on land, and I'm rereading this because I want to get the rules right. The cat, I'm trying to get eaten by a cat. I make an evade check, or they take a bite of your wing and you suffer 1 injury. So because I didn't evade, I automatically start with 1 injury. Kablow. I've only got 5 hit points left. It says enter combat to escape. Now we're into the combat section, and I always attack first. I'm going to go ahead and use my peck ability, and as it says, in combat, do we draw first? Does the attacker draw first, or do we draw first every time? In combat, so kind of bloody for a, one of these journal games. Skill checks, combat, yeah, blah, blah, blah. All right. Draw a card. Let's see. You draw, and then draw for your opponent. Then draw a card. So the attacker always draws first. And with 3 hit points, I don't like this. I'm going to try to evade. I'm going to make another evade check. I might be a big raven, but I don't like fighting cats. Instead of taking an attack, you can flee. Repeat the steps for your opponent's move if your evade is equal to or higher than your attack score. So draw a card and add his attack skill. So the first card is for Mr. Cat. Oh, I get a joker, which I can spend to evade right now. I'm going to do that. So I get away from the cat. Yeah, I ran away. Yeah, it's the better part of valor, fellas. I don't feel bad about that at all. Then we have to do our second event, which is going to be a second joker. Yoink. And then our third event will be the ace. Create your own event. Wait, you meet a potential mate. Events on land. Remember, we're on the land. You meet a potential mate. What is their name? If you are looking for love, make a mate check. On a success, they will accompany you in your adventures. Now, I'm not looking for love. I gotta be a free bird, baby. I gotta be a free bird. Cue the soundtrack. We're playing Freebird. So we succeeded in our second one. What? All right, so does that mean that we automatically succeed in our search? Objectives. Travel to the scrapyard and try to obtain it for them. You may need something to trade. What have they created? If we go to the objective... But see, this is where the book kind of falls apart. So we got there. I don't want to say it falls apart. This is where my lack of reading comprehension begins to hurt me. There's no real guidance for what it takes to move on. To generate an objective, draw a card from the deck. All right, whenever you generate, don't forget to make a note of it somewhere. There will be times when you have several unresolved objectives to deal with. Once you've completed a required number, you'll be able to advance to the next life cycle. But they're not setting specific. Whenever you land in a hex, you must generate resolve 2 events before you can take flight again and move to another hex. Whenever you're in flight and travel to a new hex, you must generate resolve at least 1 event before you can move to another hex. Let's see. Traveling, landing, flying. Yeah, I'm a little bit at a loss at this point. You can complete an objective anytime it makes sense to do so. Maybe you have found an object, a character, or a location you were looking for. Keep a note of objectives and refer to them as you play. They guide your motivations. So now we need to look a little more closely at our objectives, because I need a jeweled object. So does that mean that I have to hang out here, create your own mechanical object until I draw an ace or a... Does this have the jeweled screwdriver? Create your own flying goggles, star chart, steel rivet, brooch, puzzle box, jeweler, screwdriver. No, because, yeah, do I have to try to find the other black 9? While using this, you can automatically repair any small piece of machinery with a successfully used tool check. All right, but I don't... This begins to feel like a game where I'm missing something. Do I find a jeweler's screwdriver and pick it up? So here's my objects. Jeweler's screwdriver. It has a little orange on the handle, and it smells like vodka. So I picked it up, and now I think I just need to get back to my crashed airship to complete the mission. The individual locations here don't have any special rules. You could generate some kind of like mini game for how hard it is to find the jeweled screwdriver. But since I went through 2 events, well, wait a minute, did I do 2 events? I ran away very bravely, I might add. It takes a big bird to admit when he's overmatched. Let's see. There was a pretty smoking hot girl crow there, but I said, sorry, baby, I got to get back to my crashed airship. I got to get back to my friendly engineer. So I'm going to now. So I got it, yay, and I'm going to go take flight. And I have to generate a flying event. A black 6, you're hungry. Land and make a search check for food. On a failure, you find a few morsels, but not enough to sustain your energy. Take 1 injury. Take your next 2 in this hex on land. All right, so I got to make a search check first. I need a 5, and I got a king. We're on the outskirts of the scrapyard. We're away from the rats. So I found some food. I don't take any damage. But I need to do 2 more events, right? Because that event was a 6 of spades. On a failure, you find a few morsels. Okay, on a success, I'm good. Take 1 injury. I didn't do that. Take your next 2 in this hex on land. Take your next 2 what? Take your next 2 turns. I think it means I got to take 2 more events before I can take off again. So now a red 5 means a rook flies by and asks for your help. If you accept, you may generate a new objective. I refuse. My second event is going to be an 8. A sudden gust of wind. Wait. The 5, I forgot I'm checking on land here. Events on land. A hungry cat pounces. Fight for your life or evade. If you reduce the cat's injury to 1, it will flee and drop an object. See, this is what I'm wondering. Do I need to go until I find the object this way? That seems really hard. The only way to find that jeweler's thing is to like get the black spade when I beat up a cat. The black, and not just the black, no, I'm sorry, all the spades are black. I know that. I need to get the 9 of clubs or spades on the object search. I don't think that's right. That could take a long time. All right, we are going to evade. So the difficult number here is 8. We get a 7, but we have advantage because we're slippery Pete, and we get an 8, which means we successfully evade. That was our first event. Our second event is now you're hungry. Make a search for, oh boy, for your favorite snack. If you fail, okay, so we need a jack, and we're searching, we get a 10. Do we have a plus for it? No, we don't have a plus for our search. I'm going to succeed automatically. I've succeeded because if you fail, you're fatigued, and all skill checks are made with a penalty. You can make another search check to stave off hunger. Yeah, I succeeded. I'm done. That's my second event, and I cycle back to trying to fly. I'm going to fly over the streets of the town. Maybe I can find a nice place to rest, but we are back to flights. 2 of clubs. Another Clockwork Crow. Oh no, it's not Clockwork. It's all events on the wing. The 2 of clubs, you meet a jackdaw who offers to accompany you and help you at your next location. In the current and next hex you visit, make all checks with authority. They will leave you after the next hex. Cool, I found a buddy. I'm going to fly over here. So I'm flying over the docks. And I generate an event in flight. Some of these are pretty good. You spot an object on land. To obtain it, you'll need to land and take 2 turns before you can leave the current hex. Boy, we're close. We're close to the airship. Do we want to land and take 2 turns? We've got authority. Let me grab that guy over here. That was a 2, right? I'm going to put this here so I remember which one it is. In the current and next hex, make all checks with authority. Yeah, why don't we go ahead and land? We've got authority on this. So we need 2. This is the 3 of clubs. We've spotted a 6 of hearts. And that object is going to be 6 of hearts. So maybe it's a little easier to find stuff than I thought. Clockwork objects. The red 6, there's a brass cog. Trade this with any airship engineer to get on the right side of them or make a use tool check to fix something mechanical. Okay, brass cog. Brass. Oh, where's objects? So I now have a screwdriver and a brass. Well, I don't have the brass cog yet, do I? Let's not count our ravens before they hatch. I have to get through 2 land events, including a 7. You find a message scratched into the dirt by another of your species who needs help. You can generate a new objective. No, I'm on a mission from the engineer. The queen. Wait, is that what it was? No, red 7. Your wing becomes caught in something. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. The red 7 means make an evade check or take 1 injury. I need to beat a queen. Oh, no. My evade skill is 0, but I get 2 chances. I fail, and I fail. Take 1 injury while freeing yourself. That's not good. That was our first event. 9 of red. You meet character who offers to carry you to the next hex. You can travel there without making another check and heal 1 injury. Yeah, boy. So some friendly little girl, we'll call her, some friendly little girl who really likes birds, we'll call her Evangelina, says, let me take you out on my rowboat because we're in the water, and some reason her lunatic dad lets her take little journeys in a rowboat. Or maybe she's snorkeling and she flies her that way. But because we completed both of those, we do have that brass cog, which will fix things, and we can give it to our boss. And that will explain why he likes us so much and he gives us brass wings when we level up. We got to take one more. We're going to go ahead and take one more event as we fly to the crashed airship every time you enter a hex. So that, and it makes sense that you would start at the crashed airship because you're not too far from everything, right? Events on the wing. On a 3, you spot an object on the ground. To take it, land and make a use tool dislodge it. If you fail, the object breaks and is unusable. Maybe you know someone who can fix it. Take 2 turns on land before you leave your current hex. Wait, but I don't get it. I've spotted something in this location. In order to take that thing, I need to land and make a use. But if I fail, wait, maybe you know someone who can fix it. Take 2 turns on land before you leave your current hex. But okay, I'm not gonna land. Oh, it must be on top. All right, so this is where the like role-playing stuff comes in, right? But what is location? Like, I have to generate a new location. I've spotted an object, and I get that. Let me check it on the chat. I've been ignoring you guys for way too long. Is the crow fighting in the crane style? That's right. So if I spot an object in a location, so when I generate a location, right, it could be any one of these, and it could be any one of these. Where's the countryside? What? So the location is an underground coffee house. Wait, where is that? Refer to the map at the end of this section or create your own map. Well, it's not at the end of this section, is it? But I printed it up. And see where it might make sense for that location to be. Don't forget to embellish the location with your own ideas. All right, so I guess the coffee shop could be anywhere, and I kind of get to decide that. Beneath an ornate spiral staircase and cargo-carrying airship. Well, that's military. There's cruise, and there's crashed. So I guess you've got a lot of leeway here. The Grand Library is probably going to be a big one of these. I would make this game a persistent game. And if I decided that the Grand Library was, so there's the market, just at random, if I said this is the Grand Library, this would always be the Grand Library. It's shaped like a plus. That would be the church. I would assume the Grand Library is somewhere close to town. So here's the old town, right, with the city walls. This is probably the Grand Library right near the airport. But that does still, the question remains. I'm at the crashed airship, but I saw an object at a location. Well, you know, if it's an object I want, I could go through this whole process again, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, got it. I should be writing down all of these objectives because every time someone says, hey, do you want to do this objective? That gives me an opportunity. I can finish this and then go do that other objective. In my head, I was thinking I'm going to land, generate a new objective, and then go off and do that. But that means I'm always coming to and from the crashed airship. Whereas if I wanted to go help the Duke and Duchess, then I could fly off, or maybe there's something going on. Yeah, it's the Duke's fort, right? I was already down here. I could go bink, bink, take care of their, little spat, and then dink, dink, come back and be extra efficient that way. But we're already at the crashed airship, and I'm going to ignore that object because it doesn't make sense to me. I got to land on the crashed airship to find the object that I noticed in a prison watchtower. What? Instead, I'm just going to claim victory. So I have completed one objective. Cha-ching! And then I'm going to also say I got to get back to the crashed airship. And then maybe I start at the docks because with the little jeweler's screwdriver, my good buddy can fix it up and then he can land at the docks. There was somebody who asked me for help with something and I blew him off. And I should have determined what the help was that they needed. Clockwork Crow, who was it? Somebody came by. It was one of the events on land, right? A bird events, you may generate a new objective. So this is our second objective that I should have wrote down 2 so I could pick. And I'm going to generate a new objective. And it's going to be the queen objective, the Black Queen, which means our character has to perform a ritual. No, that's Gothic Crow. The Gothic Crow would have to perform a ritual at the funeral of a character and location, but you need an object to complete it. However, a necromancer raven has other plans. But that ain't me. That ain't me. I ain't the fortunate Corvid. Events in flight. Objectives. Objectives for clockwork. Here we go. So our other objective, here we go. Clockwork. See the gears? Yo, check it. Character needs an object for the new invention. Travel to the scrapyard and try to obtain it for them. You may need something to trade. So we gave the librarian one. Oh, but we should probably... Oh, we probably should have figured out where the Grand Library was to give it to that librarian. I guess the librarian was on the crashed ship and took it to our engineer friend. The character, Red 9, needs Red 8. The Weary Seagull needs a windmill in the countryside. Oh, we have a escort quest to do. All right. Escort the Weary Seagull. Jonathan Livingston has had just about enough of this life. He has been practicing and practicing. Escort him to the Red 8, the windmill. Escort Weary John L. to the windmill. Wait, you know who Jonathan Livingston Seagull is? Brother, my brother in RPGs, we are up to date on all of the cultural touchstones and references. Where's the countryside? This is where dice come in handy. So here's the Duke's Fort, and this is the cliff sides, right? The coal mine is down there. It's not going to be over here off the coal mine, and it's probably not going to see the cruise airship. It might be over there. It should be up on a ridge. So let's say there's a windmill here. And I'll draw a little, boop, boop, boop. Here we go. I'll draw a little Dutch boy dancing in his wooden shoes. So there's one. Where do you think is a good place for another windmill? At the edge of the coal mine? Or somewhere around here? That's a pretty good market square there. I think that's the most sensible place for it. Maybe like right here, but that doesn't help us out. The windmills are going to be way off in the distance, right? Yeah, because this is like a valley. The river comes down the valley, so we got to pick. And this is where it would have been smart to have generated this objective beforehand. That must have been the friend was like, I'm so tired. Can you help me? And we blew him off. Oh, live and learn, man. See, a little bit of kindness goes a long way, guys. Life lessons from RPGs. All right, well, now we have, I guess that was a different tired bird. Now we have to escort Jonathan L., and this time we're going to fly over the Penny Quarter. Boop. We're going to go to here, and we're in flight with the Red Queen, which generates another event. The Red Queen. We heal a wound. Oh, no, see, I played too many games. I was thinking the Queen of Hearts, you know what that would be if we were playing Fistful of Lead. You fly into bad weather, make a search check for a place to take shelter. If you succeed, descend and take your next 2 turns on land. If you fail, press on. You press, on taking 1 injury. This is the 4th edition. I'm one to talk about typos and little things like that. If any of you guys have ever read one of the books I wrote, you know that, man, I am in the glassiest of houses throwing the rockiest of rocks when I point that stuff out. So we got to make a search check. We need to get a 4, and instead we get a 5. We succeeded, so we take 2 turns on land. We generate a land event, and it's going to be turning the page. And we get a create your own event or draw again. I wonder what happens if I do one from the fantasy. Oh, no, there is no fantasy. They're all the same. I'm just going to draw again. 4, the terrain becomes difficult. Make a successful hop check or become stuck for several hours and take an injury. We don't have any abilities to hop here. The magpies, I think, are probably pretty good at that. We need a 5. We got a 6. Yes. And then we have our second event before we move to the next hex. With a 7, your wing becomes caught in something. Make an evade check, which we have an advantage on. We need a 3. We get a 2 and an ace, so we fail. And that means that your wing becomes caught. Oh, I think we took an injury, didn't we? What was that event? 3? Events on land. No, we had advantage. It was a red 7. We took an injury, freeing our wing. We're up to 2 hurts. That's our second one. Now, we could preen, but then we'd have to get through 2 more events. My guy here, he doesn't want to take that long. We've successfully done our second. We're going to move to here, and we're going to generate an event on the fly. We're generating an event on the fly. Create your own event or draw from this table. Draw again from this table. I think that means we do this one. Another bird joins you. They are carrying object. You can persuade them to give it to you with a successful befriend check. Or you can mug them. We are, let's see. So we need to befriend them. First of all, let's find out what object they have. And then we'll find out if we're going to go like full blackbird and mug them. So the 10 of hearts means they have a... Oh, by the way, I gave my cog to my buddy. No, well, yeah, I gave it to my buddy. That's my XP. That's my brass for XP. So the object, the clockwork object that this other bird has, and we're not going to beat him up. Give me a break. We're just going to try to sweet talk him. Is a hairpin. We can gain authority on tool checks. May act as a makeshift repair for a small mechanical device. So I have a hairpin. Oh, no, I might. Oops. I got to make a befriend check. I got a king, and remember, I have a +1, so I just need a I failed. Oh, dang it. I could have used that hairpin, too. That would have looked good in my feathers. That's the event, and now we get to shuffle the cards, and the only real thing that happens here when you shuffle these up is that you get another opportunity to draw some more jokers. All right, we're all fresh and shuffled. I'll cut them like so, and we will fly another hex. And I think we're going to level up when we get to the windmill, because we'll have completed our second objective when we get there. Flying 2, and I don't know exactly how many hexes I need to get to. I'm going to fly to here, and I generate event red 7, which means a hostile gull is protecting his territory. Enter combat or make an evade check. If you choose to evade, you must travel to a hex immediately to your left or right. So we're going to make that evade check. We need a queen, and we get an 8, so we fail. Or make an evade check to avoid. We didn't avoid them, so now we have to fight them. If you choose to evade, you must travel before taking another turn. Okay, so if I was successful, I could have slid over to here, I guess, which would have put me in line still. That wouldn't have been too bad. But as it is, Fussroda! We go into fight. So we got to fight a hostile gull. And Jonathan Livingston Seagull says, "Hey man, why you guys gotta be so aggro all the time? Why can't we all just get along, baby? I'm talking about peace, love, and garbage for dinner." What was the hostile gull? So he's at +2 to attack. Oh, he's a beast too. He's got 4 hit points. All right, bro, you want to go? I'm ready to throw, man. I get the first attack. Put the map aside. And I'm ready. I've had enough of these guys. These gulls, man. You know, my friend here, Jonathan Livingston, all he wants to do is do his loop to loops and like meet a guru in the sky and get away. And maybe he'll come back and try to convince the other gulls that there's a whole nother world out there. But he certainly won't talk about, Viva Cristo Rey. That's one thing. I might like take a red line to this and replace some of these locations. Like, none of these are a cathedral. Come on, bro. You're missing out on one of the best parts of storytelling here. As I was saying, our hostile seagull is at how do I do this? I want to make it so you guys can see. I shuffle my stuff. Okay, I get the first attack, and as I said, attacker draws first. Kapow! Now I'm pecking, by the way, so I have a +1. I got a jack, and then he tries to avoid, and I do 1 blamage, so he's down to 3. Then he goes, and he gets a 5, and I make an evade with authority, and I take the highest, and I'm good. So then it goes on to round 2, and I make an attack. I peck, I get a 4. Oh, I get a 5, and he gets a 4, and so I go, I basically lock jaws with him. We're like, we're in the clench, man. I'm looking to go off the top rope. Oh, if I had dive bomb, that would have been great, man. That would have been fun stuff. Right, so he attacks me with a 6, and I evade with a 3, and with authority with a jack. Round number 3, I am going to peck him with an 8, and he's going to evade with a 3. He takes another blamage. He's down to 1, and he's got to be hurting. He gets a queen, and I dodge with a king 9 combo. Shasha! That's right, full crane style, guys. Here's my attack. Here's the closer. Here's the finisher trying to hit the cycle. Hit him with an 8. Oh, he duck and weaved. He bobbed that one. And he comes back with a 6, but I dodge with the 7-8 combo. Now it's my attack. Blam with the queen. He fails to dodge. Gull goes down. What's another famous gull? What was the gull from the Little Mermaid? He's down, man. Off the top ropes. You're out of here. Raise that wing. How many experience points is a seagull worth? That is our event for this hex. That was so exciting. Yeah, tell your friends, Mr. Gull. So now we fly to here. We generate a new event. There's probably like a system to this. Like red is good and black is bad maybe, but I'm not going to look at that. Fly into low cloud or mist. Make a navigation check. On failure, you become lost and must take another turn in the current hex. My navigation is not great. In fact, it's terrible. I need to get a 9, and I draw 2 cards and take the worst. So I'm lost. So I don't move this turn. And I generate a new event. With the Black King, create your own or draw again. With the 3, you spot an object on land. To obtain it, well, what is the object? It is a 4 of diamonds. I spot a pouch of gunpowder. Throw this at an opponent to create a distraction and make an evade check with authority. I already have authority on evade checks. That would be a total waste of time. For now, you know what? I only have it for now. I think I lose that ability when I level up. I am going to fly over this street here and hope that I don't get pounced. I'm still in flight. I'm hungry. Make a search check for food. I needed 2. I got a king. I'm good. Then I fly to, I'm going to follow as the crow flies. I can't believe it took me that long to make that joke. Down to this hex and generate an event in flight. Another bird joins you. They are carrying a 5 of diamonds, which means a 5 of diamonds means a raven's gas mask. While wearing it, you gain authority on scare checks and will protect you from poisoned air. If you befriend him, I need an ace, and I get a queen. I say, hey, that's a pretty sweet gas mask you got, buddy. You got a spare you're going to have? And the guy's like, he reaches under his wing and goes, yeah, of course, here. So now I have a gas mask, which um, gives me authority on scare checks. Okay, so I'm going to put that here. Scare, authority, and it protects from gas. Yeah, boy, my kids could use that in the car when we're driving. I'm sorry, that was really. We should do better than that. Did I do that right? You can persuade me to give it to you. Yeah, we befriended him. Yeah, and I'm not going to fight him for it. Come on, what do you think? We're the paladin of the skies, man. We're the cavalier of the air. 5 for events in flight. You spot a congregation of magpies in their nest. You can choose to land and make a befriend check to convince them to assist you in a healing ritual. If you succeed, make a preen check with authority. Yeah, let's see. You can choose to land. Yeah, let's try that. Hey, magpies. Can I befriend you? And with a 9, I can. And they say, yeah, we'd love to help you out. We would love to make a preen for a while. Can you draw? Oh, boy. If you are successful, where'd the magpies go? If you succeed, make a preen check with authority. That's card number 1 and card number 2. Well, all right. So I'm gonna hold off. Do I draw another card because I do the Joker? That counts as drawing a card. And so naturally, the funny thing is, remember the Joker will let you heal 2 wounds at any time. I'm going to hang on to that until I really need it. I've only got a couple more hexes to go. So I fly to here. And if I need it, I can throw it down at any time. I generate a 5. You spot a congregation of magpies. Didn't I just kind of spot another congregation of magpies? Did I? Am I going for... No, that was the 5 of spades. Man, when it rains magpies, it pours magpies. So here we are next door. This must be the hospital district, I guess. I need to get a 6 to befriend them, and I got a 7. And then I need a 7 to get healed, and I have authority. I draw 2 cards, and look at that. Just like that, my injuries are gone. God bless you, magpies. Aren't birds wonderful things? Not seagulls. Those guys are terrible. Not you, Jonathan. You're not like the other seagulls. You're one of the cool gulls. Then we have one last flight check to make. Kapow. And in flight, we have the Joker. And our last hurdle that we have to fly over. Ravens are very good at hurdles, by the way. A bird joins you in flight and presents you with a task. You may generate a new objective. We're going to do that, but we're also going to succeed at our second objective. Ka-check. The objective he gives us is a 2 of hearts. Not only that, but as we continue our little campaign here, I'm keeping my jokers because the next episode of Be Like a Crow, Think Like a Crow, we have 2 jokers, which are in-game versions of. Yeah, we reference Caddyshack. We reference, our artistic, hippy-dippy 1970s True Love and Find Yourself magnum opuses. We do it all, baby. But remember that 2 of hearts that we were in flight? We need to find out what that object was. You can persuade them to give it to you with a befriend check. Alternatively, fight them for it. I don't know. We got 2 objects already that we kind of like, don't we? No, we don't, because we gave up the brass cog, and we had to turn over the screwdriver. Oh, we need to generate our new objective, which is going to be 6 of spades. This could be anything, right? Because all of the cards are there. Generate your own. 6 of spades means an airship has gone missing outside the city. Character 7 has asked you to locate their friends who were aboard it. Maybe you can locate it and the other passengers too. So when we start our next episode, we're going to start in this hex here. And I need to keep these cards out where I can see them because I forget which one it is. So the airship has gone missing. And the character that we're looking for here, the red 7, is a market trader. So his friend has the inside scoop on orange juice futures. And he wants us to help get the secret plan, the secret report on whether it's smart to invest in orange juice or not. So can we locate his friend who was aboard it? Maybe you can locate it and the other passengers too, outside the city. So that airship is going to be located. We have to search. So it's outside the city for one thing. And what we're going to do to make this objective a little harder is we have to search here and here. And so we'll roll a d6, and on a 5 or a 6, this is where it's at. If it's not, we're going to fly over here, and on a 3, 4, 5, or 6, it will be here. And if it's not there, that means we have to go. Well, we can make this, the more places we put down, the harder it will be. So we could, it's outside the city, right? So the other thing we could do, we'll put that other one do we want to put it all the way on the opposite side of the map? That's a long way to fly, baby. And you know what will happen. If I put it here, yeah, so these are the 3 we have to check, and we can check them in any order. And then here it's going to be, if it's not here or here, it's got to be there. So that gives us kind of another little mini game that, we've got a 1 in 3 chance that it's easy. We've got a 1 in, let's see, it's 3 times 2, that's like a 1 in 9 chance that it's hard, that it might be like crazy hard. However, we did level up. So let's do that. Let's level up our crow. And to do that, it's very simple. We go back to the kickoff. Let me find the right page here. Note on placeholder text. Nope. Urban Crow. So the first thing you notice is our Clockwork Crow is juvenile. So while we're hanging out with Jonathan Livingston Seagull, the airship engineer gives us the steam-powered wings, which gives us +1 to these skills, and a monocle, which gives us 1 tick to our search skill. Oh, you know what, though? I think we're allowed to keep these because they're wings and a monocle. This is not beak and claws, so I think we can have these too. Also, you get 1 extra tick to any 2 skills. That being the case, as you are a small and hard target, you can make evade checks with authority. So I think we lose the navigation checks with a penalty, but we lose the ability to make evade checks with authority. Because we're no longer small, we're now juvenile. And in exchange for losing those kind of plus up and minus, as I said, we've got the steam-powered wings. So we get 1, our fly is now 2. Our dive bomb is 1. Our evade goes up to 2. And with the monocle, we are Baron von Raven monocle. We get +1 to our search, which is here. And then we can add 1 extra tick to any 2 skills. So I do want to take Preem. That would be useful. I'm going to put a note here. 2 jokers. You want to know how I got these cards? My mother threw me out of the nest. And I think that's it. Because we're not a fledgling anymore. So I said fledgling, but we're actually juvenile now. I thought there was like a universal power-up, though. It says characteristics, all species gain improvements, extra ticks at each new lifestyle. There is also some ability modifications that are defined by the setting. Yeah. Oh, there you go. So that's it, man. So is the crow named Heckle or Jekyll? Remember to hit the like button, y'all, says Dartmart. Yeah, checking in on the chat, and then we're going to bail. I'm glad you... Thank you guys for keeping the flame alive. Remember that chatting helps tell the algorithm, yo, this bro is lit. Make sure that you're putting it... Yo, make sure you're putting him in front of everybody. What do you guys think? If you were playing this like strictly according to the rules, every time you drew a card, you would go, time out, wait a second, let me go to my little keyboard. Let me write my little story here. Gotta take my little story with my guy. Yeah, we didn't do that. We're gamers, baby, not storytellers. Now that we're done playing the game, now we can tell the story. That's how we roll. This is going to be really awkward for Tim Roberts. If he ever finds this video, he's going to be like, hey, everybody, I think this guy likes my... And then he's going to watch it and be horrified. He's going to be like, oh. Now, I did like it. I mean, this was a fun experience, and I'm not 100% sure about its replayability because the bulk of your actions come from these two tables, events in flight and events on land. These are going to be the same no matter what setting you're using. That said, there are 52 different events. So you could play, I mean, how many did we generate here altogether? If we look at the map, we could probably count them. I mean, just today we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, about 17 or 18, plus all of them we were on the land. Technically, I wonder, we might have needed to do 2 land events here at the windmill that we escorted our buddy to. But I think we're okay because we didn't necessarily land, there's landing and then there's landing, if you know what I'm saying. Like, we probably landed up in the rafters. And I guess it makes sense we took the seagull away from the sea because he needed a break from all of his sick tricks, baby. Jonathan Livingston Seagull was kind of like the X Games of birds. Checking in on the chat. Right, my man. Let's see. Yeah, not a lot going on tonight. It's a little bit late. Is the crow named Heckle or Jekyll? That's a good one. Good morning from Wales, travelers. Chegs, we're not doing Traveler. I mean, we're kind of doing a Traveler, right? Could we reskin this as a Traveler game? Every time you enter a hex, you have to roll a 50-50 chance to see if there's a planet. There's a planet. I gotta generate a new UPP. I'm vamping. I'm joking, kind of, off the cuff, but it's not entirely wrong. I mean, we're doing Jose. By the way, our Raven was named Jose Corvo. Jose, instead of going to planets, is going to scrapyards and windmills and crashed ships that travel through airspace. You might call them crashed spaceships. So it is, you have to track your inventory. This is a solid experience. I think this is well worth the money. I would recommend this to people who want to sit down and have a good time with a solo RPG experience. I think there are a few gaps and holes in the process. It's not quite as thorough as Glowing Turtles Drifter and Star Drifter. It's very much a streamlined version of those, but I give Be Like a Crow credit. It's not trying to be anything that it's not. It's trying to be a very simple, generative program for challenges that are simply resolved with a deck of cards. And in that, it is also acting as a prompt for storytelling. I am tempted to play this and blog my experiences, but I would probably set up an entirely new blog and play it strictly by the book, where with every card draw, I do pause and I give some thought to drafting a story, similar to what we saw here in the fake handwritten font. I might, and so once again, let me just close out with, it's by Tim Roberts, Be Like a Crow. And if you go to, he's played this, and where's that? Oh man, where is it? Twitch.tv, yeah, here we go, /critical kit. And this is a whole storefront that has the other titles. So if you did want to buy A Fistful of Feathers and Cthulhu, I think he's working on a cat version of this. So, oh my goodness. I mean, can you imagine Be Like a Cat? Can you imagine the market for that? Oh my Lord. All those old maids, all those crazy cat ladies. Oh man, he's going to make bank. I should have thought of this. That would have been great. Crows are more sincere than they look, you know. Aki. Who's Aki? Is that an anime reference? I don't know what that's from. Yeah, I might get Cthulhu. Let's see how he does. You know what you would have to name your crow? The H.P. Lovecraft. You know what he would name his crow, don't you? We can't say it because we like having our channel. Careful in the chat. I'm just saying, you know, we know what he named his pets, right? I'm sure there will be a Crow remastered Kickstarter soon. It could be Dice Tales, wouldn't surprise me. Star Drifter is well put together, Dartmart. Let's see, an intelligent crow could definitely be a fun traveler character. Yeah, Chegs, we are not on Corvinus anymore. Although, you know, there is nothing to say. One of the settings is Cyber Crow. Now, would you build... If you had an underwater dome that was large enough, would you build skyscrapers in it? That seems a little bit redundant, doesn't it? But I could absolutely see... Look at this. Underground Hacker HQ. Oh, it's got like paths that you take. They don't quite line up with the hexes. I think I would have liked this better if the Feathernet HQ. That's adorable. Oh, that is so cute. SciTech Corporation HQ. That's not as good as Red Blobster, if you ask me. And then can we take a look at I'll show you the other one here that I printed up that we kind of chucked to the side. Urban Crow. Man, I didn't make a single Brandon Lee joke. I gotta save these for the sequel. Town Shopping Center Sports. Oh, this one's kind of boring. This one doesn't have anything cute like Feathernet HQ. I think that's great. Hey guys, it's late. Daddy got to get some sleep. Till next time. Thanks for hanging out. I'm praying for you.